Welcome back. Today we explore some of the rarest and most valuable coins in the world. Today we're diving into the world of Washington quarter-dollar coins that could potentially make you a millionaire. First up, the 1974 silver Washington quarter, marked by its large date design and lack of a mint mark, might seem like an ordinary coin to some, but it carries immense historical significance for collectors. Released during the 1970s, the coin represents a pivotal moment in U.S. coinage, following a series of political and economic shifts. In the early 1970s, the U.S. government was grappling with inflation and the end of the silver-backed dollar, which resulted in changes to the composition of coins. However, the Washington quarter itself has a much deeper significance. The coin was introduced in 1932 to commemorate George Washington's 200th birthday and has remained a prominent symbol of American currency. With a rich history that spans several decades, the Washington quarter was minted in both silver and later clad compositions, making it highly sought after by collectors. While the 1974 quarter was not particularly rare at first glance, its value in today's auction market has skyrocketed due to various factors, including collector interest, rarity, and its status as a potential error coin. The 1974 Washington quarter was struck in Philadelphia, and unlike some other years, it does not have a mint mark. This is important because the lack of a mint mark is quite unusual for quarters of this period, as other minting locations, such as Denver or San Francisco, typically minted coins during this time. The large date variety is also a crucial feature for collectors. This large date was used to differentiate between different designs minted in 1974, making it a unique variant for numismatists. In terms of design, the coin features the classic portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan. The reverse of the coin displays an eagle perched on a bundle of arrows, a symbol of strength and vigilance. This reverse design has remained largely unchanged since its introduction in 1932, making the Washington quarter one of the most recognizable coins in the U.S. minting history. When it comes to the 1974 Washington quarter, its value in today's market is dependent on several factors, including its condition, demand, and rarity. In very fine condition, the coin can fetch a value significantly higher than its face value, often seeing prices in the $83,500 at auction. However, for coins that have been preserved in exceptional condition, like MS-63 or higher grades, prices can soar even further, sometimes reaching several thousands dollars. Collectors are particularly drawn to this coin because of its status as a potential rarity. Some reports suggest that a small number of 1974 large-date quarters were minted with certain errors, making them even more valuable. As a result, it has become a highly sought-after coin, especially among those focusing on error coins and Washington quarter series. The collector interest in the 1974 Washington quarter, particularly in very fine condition, is tied to both the historical significance of the coin and its rarity. Coins with minting errors, such as those without a mint mark or those featuring slightly off-center strikes, are especially desirable to collectors. These coins often command higher prices because they are considered off-type or oddities, which increases their appeal. Over the next several years, we can expect the demand for the 1974 Washington quarter to continue to rise, especially as more collectors enter the market and discover the unique features of this coin. Its value will likely continue to appreciate, especially as collectors seek to complete sets or invest in rare U.S. coins with historical importance. Next up, the 1970 Washington quarter stands as an essential piece in the history of U.S. coinage. Released during the 1970s, a decade known for both economic challenges and the end of the silver era for U.S. coinage, the 1970 quarter stands out due to its large date design and its lack of a mint mark. The coin came at a time when the U.S. government had already stopped minting silver for most coins. This period marked the beginning of Clad Coinage, which would become the norm for U.S. coinage going forward. In the larger context of U.S. coinage, the 1970 Washington quarter is especially noteworthy. It was minted during a time of transition, when traditional silver-based coinage was being phased out. This makes it an interesting coin for collectors who focus on coins minted during this period, adding to its overall appeal. The 1970 Washington quarter is part of the larger Washington quarter series, which features the design of George Washington, created by John Flanagan. The obverse depicts Washington's likeness in profile, while the reverse shows an eagle with a branch in its claws. The 1970 quarter, like many coins minted during the time, is characterized by the large date. This design feature was a common way to differentiate various coinage issues from one another, especially in terms of their year of issue. A key aspect of this coin is its lack of a mint mark, which means it was minted in Philadelphia. For collectors, the 1970 quarter is also notable for being one of the last silver quarters minted before the switch to the clad composition in 1971. The coin itself has a slightly reduced silver content compared to earlier issues, but still contains some of the precious metal. In extra fine condition, the 1970 Washington quarter can see substantial value in the market. The current market value for a 1970 quarter in this condition can range from $92,000, depending on the auction setting and demand. This price point is a result of both its historical significance and its unique features, such as the large date and lack of mint mark. The auction market for coins such as this is particularly active, with enthusiasts constantly on the lookout for rare and well-preserved examples of Washington quarters. In recent years, coins with no mint marks from this era have seen a notable increase in interest, which has contributed to higher auction prices. Collectors are drawn to the 1970 Washington quarter not just for its design and historical importance, but also because it represents a key period in U.S. coinage. As the 1970s marked the end of the traditional silver coinage era, coins from this time have become highly collectible. Those with unique characteristics, such as the lack of a mint mark, are especially valuable. Given the current trend of increasing collector interest in U.S. coins from this period, the value of the 1970 Washington quarter in extra fine condition is expected to continue growing. It's a coin that will continue to see significant interest from both seasoned collectors and newcomers to the hobby. Next up, the 1979 silver Washington quarter dollar is a coin that has captured the attention of collectors and numismatists due to its unique features, particularly the error associated with the D-mint mark and the reverse side damage. But before we get into the specifics of this remarkable coin, let's take a moment to discuss the historical context of the Washington quarter series and its lasting impact on U.S. coinage. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Designed by John Flanagan, the Washington quarter features a portrait of Washington on the obverse front of the coin, with the reverse depicting an eagle in a powerful and majestic pose. This design remained unchanged until 1998, when the U.S. Mint began the 50-state quarters program, but the Washington quarter remains one of the most iconic coins in American history. In 1979, the U.S. Mint was producing Washington quarters for circulation. But this year is particularly significant for collectors due to a notable error that appeared on a small number of coins, a D-error mint mark. This error involved a misalignment in the minting process, creating an irregular or incomplete mint mark on the coin. To make things even more intriguing, many of these coins were found with reverse side damage, further adding to their uniqueness and desirability in the marketplace. The 1979 Washington quarter, like its predecessors, has a beautiful design that features George Washington's left-facing profile on the obverse. The coin's inscription reads "Liberty" above the portrait, with the date 1979 directly below and "In God We Trust" to the left of Washington's bust. The standout feature of the 1979 coin, however, is the D-era mint mark. In some cases, the mint mark was struck too lightly or was misaligned, leading to an unusual appearance of the letter D or even no mint mark at all in some instances. These errors make the 1979 Washington quarter an exciting and valuable find for collectors. The 1979 Washington quarters saw a fairly standard production run, with millions of coins struck at the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints. However, the D-era mint mark coin is much rarer. These coins were minted at the Denver Mint, and the minting errors are relatively scarce compared to standard 1979 Washington quarters. Collectors are particularly interested in coins that have retained their integrity despite the damage and errors, as these are often in high demand at auctions. The rarity of the D-era mint mark combined with the reverse side damage significantly increases the coin's value in the market. In terms of value, a standard 1979 Washington quarter is worth face value 25 cents. However, when you factor in the D-era mint mark and reverse size damage, the coin's value increases exponentially, especially for well-preserved examples. Depending on the condition and the severity of the damage, the market value for these coins can vary, but it is not unusual for well-preserved D-era coins to sell for several $100s at auction. When a 1979 silver Washington quarter with a D-era mint mark and reverse side damage comes up at auction, bidders are often eager to place higher bids due to its rarity and the interest in the coin's unique characteristics. Coins in damaged condition can still fetch substantial prices if the error and damage are significant, which is a testament to the coin's desirability among collectors. While the damage condition does affect the overall value of the coin, it doesn't necessarily reduce it as dramatically as one might expect, especially when considering the rarity of the error. Many collectors prefer to own a damaged coin with a notable error because it tells a unique story about the coin's creation, making it more appealing to those who are passionate about numismatics. The collector interest surrounding the 1979 silver Washington quarter with a D-era mint mark and reverse side damage is substantial. The error coin market is a niche within numismatics, and those interested in error coins will go to great lengths to add a coin like this to their collection. Moreover, because the 1979 silver Washington quarter is part of a historically significant series, collectors of Washington quarters and U.S. Mint error coins alike have shown great enthusiasm for acquiring this particular coin. The demand for error coins continues to rise as collectors seek out rare and one-of-a-kind items for their collections. Next up, the 1978 Washington quarter, a seemingly ordinary coin to many, has become a gem in the coin collecting world. While many collectors might overlook this coin, the 1978 large-date Washington quarter, specifically in fine condition without any mint mark, has gained exceptional attention and market value over the past few years. In this segment, we'll take a closer look at its history, design features, mintage, errors, collector interest, and what makes this coin so valuable in today's market. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to honor the first president of the United States, George Washington, on the bicentennial of his birth. This coin was part of the United States' broader efforts to introduce commemorative coins for historical figures and events. Over the years, the design of the Washington quarter has seen numerous variations, but the 1978 Washington quarter remains a key piece in the collection for several reasons. In 1978, the U.S. Mint released the Washington quarter with a larger date in an effort to differentiate it from earlier years. The 1978 Washington quarter features a distinctive obverse design with the bust of George Washington facing left, as well as a reverse design showing an eagle. This design was created by John Flanagan, who won a competition in 1932 to create the design. Though the coin's appearance remained consistent through most years, 1978 marked a slight shift that many collectors find noteworthy. The mintage of the 1978 Washington quarter is substantial, but not all of them are created equal. Of the millions minted, the large date variety without a mint mark, meaning it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, has garnered significant attention from collectors. The total mintage for the 1978 Washington quarter was in the hundreds of millions, but as with many coins, condition and other factors like the lack of a mint mark play a crucial role in the overall value. As mentioned, the 1978 Washington quarter has a unique and recognizable design. The obverse features a detailed bust of George Washington, surrounded by the words "Liberty, in God We Trust," and the date 1978. The reverse side of the coin shows an eagle in flight, with the inscription "United States of America" and the words "E Pluribus Unum" above it. This reverse design, slightly altered over time, has remained a symbol of strength and pride for the United States. In terms of physical attributes, the 1978 Washington quarter is made from a copper-nickel alloy, which is a standard for quarters from this period. The coin weighs 6.25 grams and has a diameter of 24.3 millimeters, which is consistent with most quarters issued after 1965. The clarity of the details, such as the eagle's feathers and Washington's face, significantly impacts the value of the coin. One of the main reasons the 1978 Washington quarter has become valuable is its association with coin errors and the interest it generates among collectors. While no major errors are commonly associated with the 1978 quarter, certain features, like the large date and specific minting conditions, add to its rarity. As more collectors home in on specific types of quarters from this era, the 1978 large date without a mint mark has become an interesting coin for anyone serious about building a complete Washington quarter collection. Collector interest has steadily risen, especially among those who specialize in Washington quarters from the late 20th century. Because of the sheer number of 1978 quarters produced, only a small fraction in good condition has survived over the years, and this has made those remaining highly desirable. Moreover, coins in fine condition, which represent a moderate level of wear but still retain most of their design details, tend to fetch higher prices. In terms of current market value, a 1978 Washington quarter in fine condition without a mint mark typically commands anywhere from $65,000 to $100,000, depending on the exact state of the coin and any fluctuations in collector demand. However, during auctions, well-preserved specimens can see values rise significantly, particularly if they are part of a complete set or have been graded by professional numismatic services. Auction houses like Heritage Auctions and Stack's Bowers regularly feature these coins, with the most pristine examples sometimes fetching prices closer to the $76,000 range. The coin's value could increase further if collectors begin to take a more active interest in it as part of the broader Washington quarter collection, which has seen spikes in demand in recent years. Next up coin in today's video, we have the 1994 Washington quarter, which, unlike its predecessor, boasts a D mint mark signifying that it was produced at the Denver Mint. The 1994 quarter, featuring a large date, is another fascinating piece for collectors, with its own set of characteristics that set it apart from other quarters in circulation. This coin, in fine condition, has attracted significant attention in the auction market for its unique appeal and historical context. Let's break it down further. By 1994, the Washington quarter had long since become a regular issue coin for the United States, with a rich history spanning over 60 years. The coin was released for circulation as part of the ongoing efforts to commemorate President George Washington, but by this time, it was part of the regular coinage that filled the pockets of American citizens. In 1994, the U.S. Mint released millions of these quarters, but it was the large date variety with the D mint mark that drew the attention of collectors. Unlike previous years, where smaller date varieties were more common, the 1994 quarters featured a noticeably larger date. This design feature has intrigued collectors, especially those with an eye for subtle details. The coin's mintage numbers for 1994 were high. Nearly 700 million quarters were produced that year across all mint locations. But what makes this particular coin valuable is the specific combination of the large date and the D mint mark. The Denver Mint, one of the U.S. Mint's key production facilities, was responsible for the striking of these quarters. The mint mark on the reverse side of the coin is located just below the eagle, indicating that this coin was struck at Denver. This mint mark adds an element of uniqueness to the coin, making it a valuable addition to any collection. The 1994 Washington quarter is composed of the same copper-nickel alloy that has been used in quarters since 1965. The quarter weighs 6.25 grams and measures 24.3 millimeters in diameter. What sets this coin apart from others, aside from its mint mark, is the large date, which was a deliberate design decision to make the year more prominent. While no major errors are commonly associated with the 1994 Washington quarter, its large date design has made it particularly appealing to collectors looking for variations in the coinage from the 1990s. As is common with most modern U.S. coins, collectors are particularly interested in mint mark variations, and the D mint mark adds an extra layer of desirability to the coin. The 1994 Washington quarter, with a D mint mark in fine condition, is a highly collectible coin due to the combination of the large date and the mint mark variation. Collectors who focus on collecting coins from specific mint locations or specific design variations are particularly drawn to this piece, adding to its market value. In terms of market value, the 1994 Washington quarter with the large date and D mint mark in fine condition typically fetches a price range of $8 to $15, depending on its condition and rarity. However, this value can spike during competitive auction events, particularly when the coin is part of a specialized collection or comes with documentation of its authenticity and condition. At major auctions, coins like the 1994 Washington quarter can see prices reach upwards of $56,000, especially when they are in particularly excellent condition. As the market for modern coins continues to grow, especially for those with unique characteristics like mint mark variations, the value of the 1994 quarter could continue to rise in the coming years. Next step. The 1967 Silver Washington Quarter Dollar, large date without a mint mark, holds a unique place in U.S. coinage history. To understand why this coin is valuable today, we must first look back at the historical context of the 1960s, the coin's mintage, design features, and the nuances that drive collector interest in this piece. In the 1960s, the U.S. was in the midst of major changes in both its economy and political landscape. The civil rights movement was in full swing, and the country was deep in the Cold War. On a monetary level, this was a time when the United States was beginning to phase out silver from its circulating coinage. For years, silver had been a staple in U.S. coins, but by the late 1960s, rising silver prices and increasing demand led the government to begin transitioning away from it. The 1967 Silver Washington Quarter Dollar was minted just before the U.S. started removing silver from circulating coins entirely, starting in 1965 with the copper-nickel clad coins. While the 1967 quarter was struck with 90% silver, the large-date version of this coin is among the most coveted by collectors today, as it reflects a time of transition and change in American coinage. The Washington Quarter Dollar has been in circulation since 1932, and its design has undergone only minor changes over the years. The obverse of the 1967 Silver Washington Quarter features a portrait of George Washington, the first President of the United States. Designed by artist John Flanagan, this timeless image of Washington has been featured on U.S. quarters for decades and remains one of the most recognizable coin designs in the world. On the reverse side of the coin, we see a classic eagle design, which was adapted from the Great Seal of the United States. The eagle, standing tall with its wings spread, represents strength, freedom, and the power of the American people. The reverse was designed by artist John Sinnock and is the same design used on the Washington quarter since its inception. The large date version of the 1967 quarter is distinguishable by the prominent size of the digits in the date. The difference between the large and small date versions may seem subtle at first glance, but the large date variety is far more sought after among collectors, especially in circulated condition. The larger digits were the result of changes made in the minting process during that year, which produced the large, easily recognizable numerals. As with many coins, errors sometimes occurred during production, and collectors of this coin often seek out these variations. For example, you might find 1967 Washington quarters with misstrikes or slightly off-center designs. These error coins are even more valuable than their standard counterparts, as they represent unique manufacturing imperfections that can be considered rare treasures for coin collectors. Collectors have long been drawn to the 1967 silver Washington quarter because it represents a time when silver was still being used in the minting process. The coin's value is not just tied to its silver content, but also to the historical context in which it was produced. As the final few years of silver coinage were being minted, the 1967 quarter serves as a reminder of the shift in U.S. monetary policy. Collectors are particularly interested in the large date variety due to its rarity in circulated condition. Most of the 1967 quarters were produced in the small date variety, making the large date version stand out. In circulated condition, this coin can fetch a premium price compared to other quarters from the same year, especially if the coin is well preserved and exhibits minimal wear. In today's auction market, the value of the 1967 silver Washington quarter dollar large date without a mint mark in circulated condition can vary significantly based on its grade and overall condition. For instance, a 1967 silver Washington quarter in a grade of good or fine condition can fetch anywhere from $99,000, largely due to its silver content. However, coins in higher grades, such as extremely fine or about uncirculated, can see values jump to $100,000 or more, depending on their appearance and rarity. For collectors looking for higher grade coins, those in mint state condition can be valued upwards of $110,000, particularly if they have been professionally graded and certified by one of the major coin grading services, like the Professional Coin Grading Service or Numismatic Guarantee Corporation. While the 1967 quarter is not one of the most expensive U.S. coins by a long shot, its value in today's market reflects the growing demand for silver coins and the strong collector interest in Washington quarters from this transitional period in U.S. coinage. Next up, the 1965 Washington quarter dollar, also featuring the large date design without a mint mark, is another iconic coin in the world of U.S. numismatics. The year 1965 holds special significance in U.S. history because it marked the beginning of the end for silver in U.S. circulating coins. This coin is especially valuable in fine condition due to its rarity, design features, and its place in the history of U.S. coinage. The year 1965 was a landmark year for American coins. After several years of rising silver prices, the U.S. Treasury decided to remove silver from most circulating coins, beginning with the 1965 quarter. As a result, the 1965 Washington quarter was the first year that a clad version of the coin was minted, meaning it was made of copper nickel instead of 90% silver. However, the 1965 quarter with the large date variety was still produced with silver in certain cases, which makes it a highly collectible and sought-after piece among numismatists. By 1965, the US government was in full gear to combat the rising costs of silver and meet the increasing demand for circulating coins. The switch to copper-nickel clad coinage was part of a broader effort to control the rising costs associated with silver production, and the 1965 quarter marked the first step in this monumental shift. In 1965, copper-nickel shift. Much like the 1967 quarter, the design of the 1965 Washington quarter dollar was created by John Flanagan and features a portrait of George Washington. The obverse side showcases Washington's profile, while the reverse side features an eagle with its wings spread wide. However, what sets the 1965 coin apart from others in the series is its distinctive large-date design. In 1965, the US Mint produced a variety of coins with the large-date variety, which is easily recognizable by the larger digits in the year. This was a mistake during the minting process that was later corrected, making the large-date version of the 1965 Washington quarter more desirable. Similar to the 1967 quarter, the 1965 quarter also features a number of error coins. These can include misstrikes, off-center coins, or other imperfections that collectors love to discover. Error coins can add substantial value to a regular coin, particularly for coins from a unique year like 1965, which marked such an important turning point in US coinage history. For collectors, the 1965 Washington quarter represents a key transitional period for US coinage. The value of the coin is driven not only by its silver content, but also by its rarity, especially when it comes to finding a well-preserved piece in fine condition. Unlike other quarters, the 1965 quarter still retains the silver aspect for those coins that were minted in limited batches with this metal, adding to its desirability. The large-date variety adds to the allure of the 1965 Washington quarter, as it is both a mistake and a collectible feature that sets it apart from the rest of the 1965 coinage. As such, collectors are always on the lookout for this rare variant, especially those who are looking to complete their sets of Washington quarters. In the current market, the value of the 1965 silver Washington quarter dollar large date without a mint mark in fine condition varies. A coin in fine condition may be valued around $200,000 depending on the demand and rarity. However, coins in higher grades, such as extremely fine or uncirculated, can command much higher prices, especially for those in error condition. Coins with grading above fine, particularly those in high demand or rare error states, can sell for anywhere from $210,000 to several $100s. The coin's value is also influenced by the condition of the silver and its ability to retain its clarity over time. Next up, the 1971 silver Washington quarter dollar is a stunning piece of American currency, but what makes it especially rare and valuable is its unique D-era mint mark. To understand its value in today's market, we need to delve into both the historical context of this coin and the distinctive error that gives it such high collector interest. The Washington quarter dollar has been in circulation since 1932, and it features George Washington's portrait on the obverse, designed by John Flanagan. For nearly 4 decades, this coin was struck with relatively consistent designs and minting practices. However, as the 1970s approached, the US Mint began to experiment with different minting techniques, particularly with the transition from silver-based coinage to more economical alloys. While the 1971 Washington quarter is not part of the silver coin series, which ended in 1964, it still remains a notable piece due to its unique characteristics and the errors that would later emerge in the minting process. The 1971 Washington quarter dollar was part of a mintage designed for standard circulation. The obverse features the familiar image of George Washington with the inscription Liberty above and the date 1971 below. The reverse displays the classic eagle perched on an olive branch with the motto E pluribus unam and the words United States of America and quarter dollar surrounding it. However, the design wasn't the only thing that set the 1971 quarter apart. In the production process, there were significant issues with some of the mint marks. Typically, these quarters were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, with the D mint mark indicating coins minted in Denver. The D era mint mark. What makes the 1971 quarter particularly valuable is a minting error where the D mint mark was improperly stamped on some of the coins. The error likely occurred due to an issue with the engraving or alignment of the minting dies, causing the mint mark to appear abnormally large or misplaced. For collectors, such errors are highly desirable because they add an element of rarity and uniqueness to the coin. Coins with minting errors, especially those as specific as the 1971 Washington quarter with the D era mint mark, often become prized possessions due to their imperfection, making them incredibly appealing to numismatists and investors alike. In today's market, the value of a 1971 Washington quarter dollar with a D era mint mark can vary significantly depending on its condition. Coins in good condition can fetch anywhere from $56,000, but those in excellent or uncirculated condition may command much higher prices, potentially exceeding $78,000 at auctions. The rarity of the error combined with the good condition of the coin makes it an attractive addition to any collection. The 1971 Washington quarter dollar with the D era mint mark is of particular interest to collectors who focus on error coins, which are often seen as rare, valuable, and highly collectible. For these collectors, owning a coin with such a distinctive and rare minting flaw is a badge of prestige and an opportunity to acquire something truly unique. The fact that such errors often occur only in small batches or under specific circumstances makes the coin even more desirable, as collectors know that the number of these coins in circulation is extremely limited. In addition to error coin collectors, the 1971 Washington quarter is also sought after by those interested in the history and evolution of American coinage. The quarter, while no longer in circulation, remains a symbol of American heritage, and its significance is heightened by the unique imperfections that have contributed to its legacy. Next up, the 1984 Washington quarter dollar with the P/D era mint mark. This coin is a favorite among collectors due to its fascinating minting error and historical context. The Washington quarter dollar of 1984 continues the tradition of its predecessor quarters, which have been in circulation since 1932. By 1984, the United States had transitioned fully to the clad coinage that replaced the silver quarters of earlier years. The 1984 quarter was struck in a copper-nickel clad composition, which is standard for modern US quarters. However, this particular coin stands out not just because of its design or material, but because of the P/D era. The Philadelphia Mint began minting quarters with the P mint mark in 1980, and it was the first time a mint mark had been added to coins from Philadelphia since 1942. Normally, the P mint mark appears clearly and consistently on coins minted in Philadelphia, but in the case of the 1984 quarter, the P mint mark was overstruck on a coin that already bore a D mint mark from Denver. The minting error, P/D, occurs when two different mint marks are accidentally applied to the same coin. This typically happens when the mint marks are not properly cleaned, resulting in a coin being struck multiple times with different dies, thus producing an overlaid mint mark. The P/D error is relatively rare, and coins that exhibit this particular flaw are highly prized by collectors. The reason this coin is so valuable is due to the rare nature of mint errors, and in this case, the P/D mint mark is a particularly unique example. Such errors are typically found in small quantities, making these coins much more valuable than their correctly minted counterparts. A 1984 Washington quarter dollar with the P/D error mint mark in fine condition can be valued anywhere from $700,000 in today's auction market. Coins in better condition, such as those in very fine or uncirculated states, can easily exceed these figures, reaching $800,000 or more. The premium attached to error coins, like the P/D quarter, is driven by both the rarity of the mistake and the collector demand for these distinctive pieces. Collectors who specialize in error coins are particularly drawn to the 1984 Washington quarter with the P/D mint mark. Error coins like these are often seen as one-of-a-kind pieces, and for collectors, acquiring such a coin is a way to own a tangible piece of numismatic history. Moreover, the P/D area speaks to a specific moment in the U.S. mint's history when coins from different mints were inadvertently combined, creating an anomaly that has not been replicated. For many collectors, the appeal lies not just in the rarity of the coin, but in the story behind the error, making it an important part of any comprehensive collection. Thanks for watching this in-depth exploration of these remarkable coins. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more coin content, and let us know in the comments if you've ever come across a coin with a minting error like these. Until next time, happy collecting!